Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another Kelly's Rambling Reviews. Today we have, it's a thrift store find for me, a Goodwill find if you will, the Dyson V6 car and boat. And the question is, does it suck? Oh yes, it sucks, but in a good way. So let's get down to it. I got my first Dyson a long time ago. It's one of the uprights, or there's some hair in there. And it worked really well. And since then, I've been a Dyson convert. Though, lately, their prices have shot up. You can see here, I'm on their website. You probably can't read it, but, you know, for this model, they asked $239. Well, I actually got this, it was a little pricey. It was 70 bucks at the Goodwill, and it came pretty much as you see, no other attachments. But it works. And it's a great little additional vacuum. I will say additional vacuum because I don't think it can replace having the need for a vacuum unless you live in like a tiny house or something like that. Now they make more powerful models that use things like, I've got a couple attachments here that like stick attachments, and you can put it and use it, you know, kind of like a replacement vacuum. But this is not the V8, this is the V6, and it's called the car and boat. And they have different models here, but they're all the same thing, just different names, different colors, purple and something like that. And I believe this one functions properly. Sometimes when you buy stuff at the thrift store, you don't know. We had bought a orange colored one, which was the older model of this. It only ran for like 3 or 4 minutes, or at least it was supposed to. And with mine, if I held the trigger for longer than 4 or 5 seconds, it would cut out. I think it was probably the battery, but I took that one back. And I've kept this one. And I just wanted to basically kind of touch up on what I like about it or don't like about it. Let's get started. So to begin, it has 2 modes. It has this, and then if you hold that button down, the trigger here, and you press, there's a little button here called max. Well, it does nothing on its own, but while you're holding the trigger down, if you press it and hold it for a second, it kicks it into like super suck mode. Listen. Now you can see it turns blue when the super suck death mode is on, and that just doubles the power of the suction. I believe you're only supposed to really run it normal and only use this for those really tough chunks that aren't coming up, or really hairy bits on the cat fur on the couch kind of thing. I think your battery life gets cut in half when you use this, or maybe even worse. I don't know, I don't really test it, and I run it in the normal mode. You can empty it by simply pressing this little red lever down, and we'll probably see a little debris fall. Oh yeah, a little bit. I already cleaned it once, but that's the second time. So now I'm going to try and suck all this up real quick. Oh, look at that. It just does a great job. So you can also, when you press this down and this opens, you can press it again, I think, or while it's open, you can pull this off and really get in there and clean all that out. I don't want to go that far because, as you can see, one of the minor downsides is a lot of hair and stuff kind of accumulates up in there. But that's not a problem. You just clean your vacuum every couple weeks and you got no problem. There's also a filter in the top here that you can pull out, and you can buy replacements, or you can wash this. They say to wash it and let it sit for 24 hours to dry out. I use an air blower, kind of like compressed air, and I blow all the dust out. And I did it for like 10 minutes and dust kept coming out of this thing. So, you know, I do that every once in a while, and then just buy a new one if you want. But if you don't want to have to buy a new one, I think you can get away with just reusing this one for a long time. And that just snaps in the top there and comes out. It takes different attachments here. You press this button and you slide them out. And I have come to find that as long as it has this little half circle with a notch in it, hopefully that will show up, it will fit and work on this to a certain extent. I found a bag of attachments a couple weeks later. I believe that these attachments are probably made for the stronger V8 version, because some of the attachments are kind of big. I don't have them all, but I wanted to show just one of them. This is a cool like expander one. You press a little button here and then it gets real long in case you need to suck up a spider or something off the wall, which I haven't tested with this yet. But my old Dyson, we used to call it Mr. Dyson, was very good at taking care of those big black crawlies, and I don't like those spiders. I do not like them. So anyways, as long as it has that little notch, you know, it'll go in here and it'll snap in just like that. And now you can hear that it's working. One of the things I've noticed with this vacuum, and maybe this is mine, maybe it's defective, maybe it's supposed to, is that if the suction gets completely clogged, the motor cuts out a little. Let me see if I can make that happen. See that? It pulsates. I'm holding the trigger down, and when I've completely got it clogged, watch. Now I think that's probably it's probably kind of a built-in mechanism, or if it's drawing too much power resistance, it does that to try to save the motor. Hopefully I didn't damage my unit by doing that. It only happens a couple of times, but it happens more when I have another attachment here that, see these little holes on the side there? It doesn't have those little holes on it. And so when I use that attachment, sometimes it's easy to suck up a little bit of couch cushion or a shirt, and then it'll vroom, 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 which probably isn't good for it, but I'm guessing Dyson was smart enough to see that that would happen, and they built in that kind of pulsing to alleviate the motor power and not kill your vacuum. So anyways, yeah, as long as it has this little notch, it'll fit. But like I say, I think some of the attachments I have are made for the more powerful V8, but they do work with this. They just don't have, like, massive amounts of suction. I have one that kind of loops up and goes upside down. I can clean the top of my ceiling fans with, and it works. It works. For some of them, I kick it up to max, and I do my little, 5 to 10 second jobby, and it works pretty good. Let's talk about the plug-in real quick, because I wasn't sure about this when I bought it. Luckily, it came with it, because, buying external or buying the parts over again can be expensive. It just plugs into the back here like this, and then you plug it in, and you get a little blue light on either side saying, hey, I'm charging. When this goes out, it's fully charged. And it's, I believe, a lithium ion. But anyways, you cannot use this while it's plugged in. It disengages it. That's kind of a downer, because I thought it'd be kind of cool to just vacuum my heart's content away with this thing in my room while it was plugged in. No, you have to unplug it to get it to vacuum. It's also not extremely loud. You can hear me kind of talking over it still. Now when I kick it up a notch, it's a little bit louder. You see it's kind of tweaking. But, on the lowest setting, it's not that bad. It sounds like one of those futuristic hair dryers. And you could probably vacuum at midnight if you have neighbors, and they probably won't hear this because it's not rolling on the floor and it's not superly loud. Now, the battery, I have not gotten to the point where I need to try and take it off, and I don't know if it actually does come off. So I don't know if you can replace the battery once it goes. Maybe you can. Sorry I can't answer that question. I probably should. But again, this is just kind of my experience review. My rambling reviews are just, if you haven't watched them, they're just kind of off the cuff, my thoughts about it, quick little things that were questions I had that weren't answered initially. So if you're thinking about getting one of these or whatever, you can kind of get those answered. Sometimes they run a little long because I ramble, sometimes they don't. So let's cut to what this is best for. I got it with just this attachment, which is, it's really cool, a nice little attachment. It's best for those little jobs. Like sometimes I will vacuum out my keyboard and, my desk to get the extra cat hair, to get the cat hair and dust and build up of, dust mites and stuff that blow around. It's really great for those crevices, like around the corners, or, if you've got a table leg on the ground, you can just put it down there, and if you bring this up, you get a little more suction and get closer to it, and it just sucks up all that dirt. It's also fantastic if you have like hardwood floors or a kitchen linoleum or whatever, and you get crumbs on the ground, you want to get the broom out and sweep them. If you just get down there and you're probably thinking, well, it's kind of a hassle to get on my knees, and that's why it's okay to have one of these bad boys. And this one is cool because I can actually put the, oh no, I can't. One of them I can put it on the end of it, but this one is still cool because you can put it on here, you can release this, and it does take some kind of an attachment on there. I don't think I have it, I don't know. But now, as you're standing, you don't have to, if there's just a few crumbs around the corner you want to get, you just, you just get it, and, it's got enough power to pick up some light crumbs. It's probably not going to pick up dimes and nickels or anything like that, but this way, you've got, this is probably total of 3.5 feet, something like that, so you don't have to quite bend over as much. So that's why one of these extendo arms might be a good little investment. You could probably get a third-party brand on eBay for like $7-8, I don't know. But the Dyson brand will cost you a little more, as all things. But it's just really great for doing that kind of thing. One of the biggest chores we have is that our stairs they're carpet coming upstairs, and the cat's fur, they love to lay on those stairs and scratch their backs, and the fur just accumulates all around the edges. And, after about a month or two, it starts to look a little, and it was a deterrent having to get out the big old Dyson, uncord it, pull out the tube. That thing's always a hassle to get out. Their design ideas are great, their implementation isn't so good. It's always a hassle to get it out, and then, you have to move it up a stair, and then you're tethered to the, you know what I'm talking about, right? If you've got pets, This is great. It's not going to get 100% of the fur that gets ingrained if you've got shag carpet, but it makes my carpets look, from dirty to clean. Like if you're just walking up it, you don't notice the cat fur. You could scrutinizing it down and probably find a couple furs, yes, but when you look at it and you're like, that's looking pretty bad, you hit around the edge, you could do each step in like 10 or 15 seconds. and I can do the whole 15 steps in probably 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. And then they look way better. It's not a hassle. I'm done. I empty it. I plug it in. I let it charge. I'm good to go. And I think they even make a dock that you can like set it in, and it can just stay on your wall. I don't have that piece obviously, but you can do that. That way you can just grab it, pull up, pull out, and then go. And that's pretty cool. I don't have a lot of real estate. This is just kind of a small condo, but you know, this is the great thing to have, especially like upstairs. If you don't have a lot of carpet upstairs, but you occasionally need to keep things cleaning, it's just a great spot vacuumer. Now they say car and boat because you're meant to get in your car and vacuum out your car. And I'm cool with that, although for me, in my car, I get a lot more pebbles and stuff, and I'd rather just use a shop vac that's down in the garage or whatever, or at a car wash. But if you do a Christmas tree in your car and you got the needles all over, this will be your best friend. Absolutely. If I don't own a boat, but if you own a boat, it's probably great to keep on there as well. I don't know why they labeled it. I guess it's the attachments that come with it. This is probably great for cleaning car upholstery is why. My guess is this is an upholstery brush, but I don't know. I think it's really just the Dyson V6. I think their whole line of V6 is all the same power. I could be wrong. Ask Dyson before you buy anything, but I think it's all just different applications, different brushes, and different colors. So for me, I didn't have a choice. This was just there, and it was 1/3 the price that it would normally be, or 1/4 the price, $70 down from $239, and it seems to function just fine. It doesn't shut off after 10 seconds. Like I say, the first one we bought that was used, and it was the gold color, the first model of this. It wasn't the V6. It was called like the Dyson 3-Minute Man. I don't know what it was, something like that. It doesn't have the best reviews because people kept thinking it would last more than a few minutes. That one, I think the battery was dead or something, but it would shut off after a few seconds, and so I wasn't sure about this one, but it works great. I don't know why somebody donated it. If you live in my state and it was you, thank you. It's awesome. It really fits my needs well, and like I say, it's a great spot vacuum. It has good power. It's not gonna match the power of a vacuum you plug into the wall, 100%. It's still Dyson. It's probably one of the best one of these you can get. I think it beats a dustbuster in my opinion. That's what reviews are, is opinions, and I'm glad to have it. It costs more than a dustbuster, but you don't have to buy filters. Like, you don't have to buy this. You can just wash it a bunch of times, and maybe eventually you'll buy one of these every 3 years. Not exactly expensive. And I think these things are only, I don't know, $10 or something, or maybe $8. I don't know. I haven't really looked, but it's not that bad of a cost. And with a dustbuster, you're going to be buying filters a lot more often. So, in my opinion, like I say, if you want maximum power, probably not this. I would probably go for the V8 if you've got the money. I think that one's a little stronger. But if you just need to clean up like little cat fur or little crumbs here and there, or you just need to spot tidy is what I'd call it. This thing is great. It is great. It's kind of unfortunate that I couldn't plug it in and keep using it. I mean, yeah, the cord's only a few feet long, but to have that ability would be nice to not be worried about having to run out of power, and you could keep it in full power mode and just really suck something out. I think there's also some other kind of attachment that plugs into these two dots down here. Oh, well, hopefully that's supposed to be a little wobbly. You can see mine's a little wobbly. I don't know. Like I said, I bought it used. I don't have that attachment. I have nothing that utilizes that. I think it's a big tube extension or something. So again, I'm probably using the wrong attachments for this thing. Who knows? I just know that it does the job I want and I like it. So if you're in the market for one of these guys, and you don't mind the money, it's a good investment, I think. And it's weighted pretty good. The weight is right here under your hand, not so much here. It looks like it would fall forward, but the weight is right here over your hand. So it's kind of like you're holding a big power tool, You could feel kind of manly, like, ba-doom, 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 I'm holding a real power tool, when you don't. I work with power tools as well. I'm just being facetious and funny, obviously. But it's not gonna, I vacuumed with it for 10 minutes and I don't get the, oh my gosh. Like, if you go longer than that, yeah, you might get a sore wrist, but you're meant to do a couple quick little things and set it down. The stairs being the longest job I do. Do not try to clean your entire carpets and house and everything with this, because you'll be running out of power, charging it, and I think it takes, don't quote me on this, but I think it takes 3 hours for a full charge. So you can vacuum for, 10 to 12 minutes, charge for 3 hours, vacuum for 10 to 15 minutes, charge 3 hours. That would be ridiculous. Don't buy this to clean your whole house. Buy it as a spot cleaner to help you keep up on those chores where you're like, oh God, I don't want to get the vacuum out and I'll do it later, and later never comes. This is that thing where you just see it on the table and you're like, you know what, that thing, I'm just gonna suck that up right now because it's been bugging me for 3 days. And then it's clean, and it's easy, and it's just the push of a button, and you dump your stuff. It's that simple. Now I gotta vacuum this up again. Why do I do it to myself? I don't know. But the Dyson V6s are a great little vacuum. If you can get one, you know, used on Craigslist or something, and it works good, awesome little thing. Hopefully this battery won't die on me. I believe lithium ions do last a little bit longer. Oh, this is a DC58, if that matters to anybody. It says DC58. So yeah, battery pack 6 cell, 2100 milliamps, rechargeable lithium ion. Yes, okay. Anyways, I've done enough rambling. I just wanted to talk about this great little vacuum. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down there in those comments. I will try to answer as best I can. And, you know, if you want to check out my other vids, I'm trying to upload more as I can each day. Just random products I find at thrift stores or things that I have bought that I like to try to let people know what my thoughts are on them. That's all I got to say about this. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.